Alright, I had to delete that other video. I made a mistake, and I admit to my mistakes. So I actually said this in the previous video before I deleted it, and not many people saw it before I deleted it, but I said a side note towards the end of that last video of part 3 of 3. The side note is actually the main point, which I have come to realize now. So let's look at this. Hey, squirrel. Till I come, and this is Paul talking to Timothy, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. And then, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy on the laying of hands of presbytery. Which, that verse confused me, and that's why after rereading it and studying it a little bit more, I realized that this is not what I meant, or not what I thought. I thought like the disciples used to lay hands and heal people just like Jesus did as well. But anyways, that's not what it means. The prophecy was given to Timothy by the brothers who laid hands on him and, taught him. So what does this verse mean then? Till. It still means until. Paul was planning on coming back to Ephesus. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He was planning to come back to Ephesus and perhaps reiterate what Timothy is teaching. He's planning on coming. And he's telling Timothy, until I come, do this stuff. So looking at this, Paul is intending to return to Ephesus. So keep doing these things until I return. Paul had an authoritative mentorship over Timothy. He was the overseer of Timothy. So if Paul tells Timothy to do something until he gets there, then Timothy would listen. So regarding this, in this context of timeline, this is what Paul said, to wait for Paul, or until I come, keep doing this. Give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy, with the laying on the hands of the presbytery, which are the elders. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. So this is all things Paul is telling Timothy to do until he returns. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. And since Paul is the overseer of Timothy, it's very likely that, based on the context of who Paul is to Timothy, that when Paul returns, he will corroborate or testify on top of what Timothy taught to those that Timothy taught. So it'll be a, oh man, that sun. So it'll be a reassurance by Paul. So then it'll be Paul's turn to speak. But that's just speculation based on the context. But again, the word until, or till, means exactly that. Paul was planning on coming back. But the word here, until, means exactly just that. It doesn't necessarily mean that Timothy will stop or won't stop. But again, Paul is the overseer of Timothy, and he is telling Timothy what to do. Until I come, do this. Which might change, and which might not. Depends on what Paul would say later. Paul is saying to Timothy, hold down the fort until I return. That's the short gist of it. Again, Timothy was a timid persona. He was weak. There was time where he was told to drink wine to comfort his stomach and ailments. So Timothy was in charge of a lot while Paul was away. He was in charge to hold it down until Paul returned. Like, think of it as, hold the fort down until I get back. If you tell your brother, your sister, your employees, if you're an employer, hold the fort until I return. As the business owner, I'd be more responsible than, let's say, my employee Timothy. Hold the fort down until I return. I have things to do. I'll be away for a few days. Hold it down. You can do it. Just rely on what you've been taught. the worker's manual. You read it, you understand it, just follow it, you'll be fine until I return. Like that. So, and then I will take over. I, as a seniority, as a mentor, will take over. So, yes, there is a change of standard being said. Whether Paul made it back or not to Ephesus is another story. But regarding the context of what is said, yes, change of standard. And when CD asks, does that mean Timothy will stop doing these things once Paul returns? And maybe, as Paul is Timothy's mentor, he may tell Timothy what to do. When he gets back, he may tell him to do something else, focus on something else. Or he may wait and say something else as continue. But right now, from what we know, he's telling him to do this until Paul returns. So hold down the fort until I return. So the CD and other Catholics bring up this question as an argument to say, for us, like the obvious thing that we would assume is that yes, then Timothy would continue. But we don't really know. Paul might tell him as his mentor to do something else, focus on something else when he gets back. We don't know. So based on the context of what we do know, it is until Paul returns in this. Paul returning would be that change, and then something may happen regarding what Paul says next as Timothy's mentor. So this is something Catholics tend to do. And not just Catholics, many people do this. They take their assumption of what they think that is not in Scripture and then inject it into Scripture, which that would be eisegesis, where you take something, your opinion and your thoughts, and inject them into Scripture. Similar with the whole Mary making a vow, which we didn't cover, as I was just responding to these verses that CD went over. But eisegesis, like the question, well, I don't know if Timothy's going to continue. Right now, Paul's just saying until he comes back, he wants Timothy to do this. Paul might say to do something else, or not. So yes, based on what we know in Scripture, this word "heos" means until, up until this point.